I'm a journalist and a proud member of the Young Africa Centre, which we on the committee fondly refer to as YAC. YAC exists to create space for young Africans in the diaspora and beyond to connect, express themselves, and lead bold change. Our mission is simple: to build community, break barriers, and redefine Africa's identity, voice, and power. This afternoon, we gather for a screening of the Decolonization of Africa, a powerful documentary reflecting on the continent's road to independence and the movements and leaders that shaped it. It's a story that resonates with our generation as we continue to work with reclaiming narratives and imagining new futures. That's why today is so special. We're honored to be joined by someone whose leadership has left an undeniable mark on Nigeria and Africa as a whole. His Excellency, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, is not only a former head of state and president of Nigeria, he's a statesman who has spent decades engaging with the big questions of Africa's future. As a key figure in Africa's political evolution, he brings both lived experience and a unique perspective that very few can offer. It's a rare privilege and a great honor for all of us, but especially those of us in the younger generation, to hear directly from His Excellency, a figure who has helped pave the path we're now walking on. It's not every day we get to hear directly from those who shaped the very history we're here to reflect on. As we, the next generation, take hold of the baton and continue the journey of defining Africa's future, we're grateful to stand on the shoulders of giants like President Obasanjo. So, with great respect and gratitude, please join me in giving a warm welcome to His Excellency, Chief Olusegun.
It's a real pleasure to have you here with us.
You are a cowboy, I'm beside
This year is the 140th anniversary of the end of the Berlin Conference. The Berlin Conference, for those of you, I'm sure that's nobody in this room, is a conference where Europeans sat around the map of Africa and decided to carve it into the various pieces that we now call the countries, and the countries still exist as was created back then. The Africa Center committed to commemorating that anniversary this year with a series of events and activities, and we were really pleased to be able to work on this film and bring it to the people who are slavery here and who were there. So the very first question is, so why do you do this?
Thank you very much. You have just said that we want to remember that it should be
They're struggling to hear the back.
Yeah. Thank you for your technical assistance. I believe that lest we forget the good things and the bad things should be remembered. And I've just edited a book, and that is the title. Lest we forget slavery, slave trade, colonialism, neo-colonialism and what we are going to do, reparation. And of course, we are not asking for reparation because we want money. We are asking for reparation because we don't want anybody to forget. Slave trade is the worst inhuman action by human against humanity. There's no, and that happened to be because the black race. There's no other race that have been sold, have been enslaved, have been treated as commodity as the black race have been treated over a period of 400 years. Now, but what is this for? All to enrich a group of people through the free or cheap labor of another group of people. That's what slavery is all about, and that is what slave trade is all about, and that is what colonialism is all about, and that is what neo-colonialism is all about. That is all what the packages that we have, structural adjustment, globalization, why you globalizing, all the make use of get cheap labor out of us to make others rich. Now, we fought for decolonization. We even fought for against slave trade. There are those confusing, the good and bad. But we should remember all of them. Now, what happened was that I took part in the last aspect of decolonization in Southern Africa, particularly in South Africa itself. And what I found, to my great surprise, is that people started forgetting. Even the victims that are still alive were forgetting. And I found that in America, now they are teaching in their children in schools that there's nothing like slave trade. That everybody came to the world for green pasture. If we allow that to continue, we will be enslaved again. What form it will be, I don't know, but we will be enslaved again. So I have that book that says, let's forget slavery, slave trade, colonization. Now then I come to colonization. Colonization was the last vestiges of dehumanization of the black man. We fought against it, and we got flag and anthem independence, but not economic independence. And I thought, when I was going around and I saw that people have started to forget that we should keep reminding ourselves. And I thought, how could we go about it? Okay, if we could not put on a film that they cannot document in detail Berlin Conference, the different aspects of colonization and slave trade, we can put on record our efforts at decolonization. And I even went to South Africa about when I was president. And the young people in South Africa have started, they don't even know what we did in decolonization in Southern Africa, what sacrifice we made. So I said to myself, let us see what we can put together so that we will not forget. And here I will want to pay tribute to Herbert Wigwe. May his soul rest in perfect peace. I called him, but when I was president, I thought of having some documentary evidence, and we started. We did not complete it until I left the office. And when I left the office, it died a natural death. So, a few years back, I called Herbert Wigwe and I said, this was something I started some time ago. He died. Can you help? And he immediately took it up. And he ran with it. And what you are going to see is some episodes. I think we have 5 or 6 episodes. What you are going to see is the last episode, isn't it? Which is a summary of the 5 episodes. You will love it. It is purely to remind us what transpired, what struggle we exercised, and how we got to where we have got to. And to also challenge us to see that where we are is not where we should be. Where we are going is not where we are. Where we are going can be far from where we are. And where we are going is not just political liberation. We must also have economic, cultural, and total liberation of from the vestiges of slavery, slave trade, colonialism, and all the oppressive measures that have worked against us. And we must realize that since time immemorial, man has used another man to make himself rich. It's gone from man to man, from community to community, from nation to nation. And nobody will give us liberation on the platter of gold. Nobody will give us development on the platter of gold. We have to struggle for it. And so, like they say in Lusophone countries of Africa, Africa continue.
whole interdependence is also about economic and cultural and intellectual emancipation for us as well. In putting this together and having seen the process, are there aspects of this that made you reframe or reconsider your own personal legacy in the struggle for
Not really. If you are at my age and people ask you at your young age of mine, do you have any regrets? Which is more or less what you are saying. You will think back. And I will say, what gives you regret is what you should have done that you failed to do, and you cannot do again. Then you regret it. There's nothing that I have wanted to do that I have not done when I had the opportunity to do it. I won't say that everyone that I tried to do has succeeded in them, but I made attempt, and that is important. So, thank you very much. You didn't even ask where did I fail. Now, but the point is that we should also make it known and make the following generation understand that there's no end. Our struggle is not a destination, it is a journey. And that journey must continue. And that's why I say, yes, well, what did we do? I always say in Nigeria, for instance, that whatever you may say, and there's a lot you can say about the generation that gave us independence, at least they gave us political independence. There are things that they should have done differently that they didn't do, but they gave us political independence, and we must remember that. Then my generation will be more or less the generation that follows that. What would you say we did? Or we credit ourselves, or you should credit us, and a lot that you will blame us for. All right? And I would say, well, in Nigeria, we fought for the unity of the country. We laid the foundation of present Western liberal democracy, which is not a liberal, but that's a different issue. And then we began the emancipation of everyone, the economic emancipation. Now, even there, we take 2 steps forward, 4 steps aside, and maybe 3 steps back. Then we raised our hand. We started, and then I said, the generation that is coming after us should understand where we have not performed adequately. They should then be able to say, yes, this is where the generation that went before us failed, and this is where, and we should learn from their mistake. Because the wise man learns from other people's mistakes. Only if we make his own mistake. You are watching your watch. Let me say this. Normally, this question and answer, and you have to use the throw to the audience. Maybe some of them want to shoot at you. Normally we have the question and answer after you have watched the film. Unfortunately, because I will have to go quickly and make my way to Paris tonight. I have another meeting in Paris tonight and tomorrow. You will excuse me, and that's why I'm having the question and answer before the film. But if anybody is strongly agitated about anything after the film, and you want something from me, just correct that you let it go to her or go to him. They will send it to me, and I will send an answer as I know it. Now, okay.
Thank you. Your leadership in decolonization will not be questioned. It will be known by some people, especially younger generations, but it's not questioned. Your leadership when you were head of state and then president of Nigeria, your leadership when you owned you before you became AU, your leadership, as you mentioned, the liberation of South Africa and even post-colonial. How equipped do you think the current cadre of leaders in Africa are to continue this decolonization?
Well, equipment or being equipped is in different forms. Mentally equipped, maybe some are not. Historically equipped, most of them are not. Characterly equipped, some are, some are not. Because if you are going to be a leader, you must be imbued with certain attributes, certain characteristics that make me to see you as a model. And I wonder how many of the leaders in Africa today, I dare even say in the world, without due respect, in the world today, that you will say you pray that your own children be like. Amen. So, when you therefore talk of equipment, and for us, particularly in Africa, our leaders must understand the world. You need to understand the world. What type of world are we in? What can you get out of the world? What do you think the world owes you? And how do you think you get whatever you think the world owes you? The truth is that the world we are living in, we are not fashioned for UN was built before all African countries were independent. World Bank. And anytime we have problems, we run to the World Bank. World Bank was not designed for us. IMF was, they came up with something they call structural adjustment. IMF. What are you adjusting? Structure that you don't have. And then they tell you structural adjustment. And we all lap it up, structural adjustment. Then they came up with another one, globalization. And when I was in prison, globalization was arranged. I came out of prison. I said, wait, what is this globalization? Then I went to Jamaica. I had to talk to them, both in their parliament and the conference or public address like that. And I said, hey, watch it. I've looked at this globalization when I came out of prison. What is saying is, I close my door, you open your door, I take everything that I can take from your door into my own door. I said, what sort of thing is that? Watching. And if anybody will talk about globalization to you in the Caribbean, if you are not globalized, you won't be here. So what has anybody got to teach you about globalization? You are globalized from Africa to here. And now they want to globalize you again. You see, our leaders must understand. And let me give. I took over when I came out of prison as Nigeria president. One of the things I took over was enormous debt. What debt those debts are, I can give you one of the examples. Then I was convinced that we could not continue to carry that debt. We were spending over $3.5 billion to service our debt, and yet the quantum of debt was not going down because they charged us what they call penalty for not paying in time. The rate that we are paying is also higher than other people because they say our situation is more conducive. We should make us even pay less, but they make us pay higher. Now, and I said, look, I want to get debt relief. And I started going about it. And anytime I went to a leader and I tell the story of our own situation, they say, oh yes, you have a good point. I did that for 4 years. My good point didn't amount to anything. Then I went to office. Who was the president of World Bank? I said, look, when I came out of prison, I came to you, I said, you should help us. And you promised to help us. Now, for 4 years, I haven't seen any help from you. I said, my God, what more do you want us to do? I told you if you are doing well, we will write good report about you. That's what we can do. If you are doing well, we have written 2 good reports about you. I said that it doesn't amount to you. He said, who hide your creditors? I said, I learned the lesson. I have to hold back my creditors. I want to see what you are saying. What you are saying to me is that I have to leave here by 1:30. And I still have about 25 minutes. So let us use the 25 minutes to good advantage. And so I went to him and he said, look, hold your creditors. So I said, okay. Of course, Ngozi Okonjo-Iwealla has come to serve me for 6 months. I know the type of person she is. So I said, look, can you give me your girl to come and work with me and pay her salary? He said, well, if she agrees to come and work with you, they will release her to you. Pay her salary. If you give her a technical job, we will pay her salary. But if you give her a political job, no. So I said, what is the difference between now you have to learn. I said, what is the difference between a political job and a technical job? I know what I want her to achieve. He said, if you make her a minister, a political job, we will not pay her salary. If you make her an advisor, that's a technical job, we will pay her salary. Now, I know that as an advisor, she won't be useful to me. Now, she will go out and say, I am advisor to President Olusegun Obasanjo, they say, yes, you are welcome. What do you want? And that will be the end. But if she goes out and say, I am Minister of Finance of Nigeria, they will stand up and you will talk to them at par. So I said, well, look, I need her as minister. So we won't pay. I said, okay, the first one, when she finishes, will you keep her job for her? He said the day he leaves the job, somebody else takes over the job. But if she works with you well and you have no serious blemish, we will look for another job for her. So I got that. Then I went to UNDP. I said, I have a problem. They said, what's your problem? I said, I have two people who are being paid by UN and World Bank, and I cannot afford to pay them. Now, they say, okay, put $100,000 in a special account. We will match it with another $100,000, and we will pay these people who want us to pay. And that's how I got Ngozi and Adeniji, who are appointed foreign minister, who came from the UN system. I got them paid. For Ngozi, it was because our children were in Ivy League University. And after that, of course, the salary that I pay her was 100. So what I'm trying to say here is that the leaders should know the world and understand the world that we live in. It's a world that doesn't feel that they will do anything. It's a world that is designed not for you. But if you understand how to get the best out of it, you can still get something out of it. I belong to an organization which started in 1983. We call ourselves Interaction Council of Former Heads of Government. Those of us who started it in 1983, I'm the only one living. And I left Dublin yesterday, where that group was. Now, we are all retired public officers, Helmut Schmidt, Fukuda, myself, Marcus, Manley, and all that. And I will look at these people and say, look, the work you do to us, the work we do, is not kind to us. And one day I was drinking my apple juice. Those of them who would drink whiskey were drinking whiskey, the one who would drink wine, drinking wine, the one who would drink brandy. And then I said to them, look, gentlemen, you are unfair to us. And Herbert Wigwe said, oh look, that's how he addressed me. And what do you mean by that? I said, look at everything is weighted against us in the economic terms. And Herbert said, only what I will say to you now, I will not say it publicly. We designed capitalism for ourselves, not for you. And he said, not even for humanity's sake. He said, go and bring your book of economics and show me where humanity is a factor of production. And that is true. Now, how much of that do you have? Then he said to me, give me 3 reasons why I should not buy your cocoa for 100. Take it to Hamburg. He was a Hamburg man. Take it to Hamburg.